Coming up tonight on YCN News, Vermont lawmakers are looking to curb school spending. New Hampshire businesses are connecting to federal contract opportunities. And good news for Vermont students who are taking the SATs. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, April 1st. I'm Laura James. Welcome to YCN News. We begin tonight's news broadcast in Vermont, where House lawmakers today gave preliminary approval to a bill to rein in school spending. House Bill 361 includes plans to review the number of supervisory unions or districts throughout the state. Now, the goal is to ensure great public education while controlling property taxes. Shumlin says in a news release that the state's education system is designed to serve far more students than are now enrolled or projected to enroll. This strain hurts educational quality and places an incredible burden on hardworking Vermonters, says the governor. Chairman of the House Education Committee, David Sharp, is being praised by Shumlin for his leadership tackling a difficult issue along with fellow Ed panel members. Governor Shumlin says he's confident legislation will be passed this year to control spending and improve academic offerings, all at a price Vermonters can afford. Now, a follow-up story to the story we reported yesterday regarding a driver hitting a Vermont State Troopers cruiser and fleeing the scene. Today, the driver of that car, 46-year-old Valerie Radford of Dorset, Vermont, turned herself into state police at its Shaftesbury barracks. Radford did so after returning from a trip to Charlotte, North Carolina via Albany, New York airport. After yesterday's crash into the cruiser around 9 a.m. on U.S. Route 7 in Sunderland, police searched for registrations that match the driver's car, make, and model. Investigation found the owner of a similar vehicle that was similar to the Silver Cross Trek was in the area of the crash as the operator was traveling to Albany to catch a flight out of Albany Airport. State troopers contacted the Albany County Sheriff's Department, stationed at the Albany Airport, for assistance. Deputies located the vehicle, a 2014 Subaru Crosstrek with Vermont tags, inside a parking garage located at the airport. Damage was present, consistent with vehicle debris left at the scene of the crash. Photographs were obtained, and the vehicle was seized by the Sheriff's Department at that time. Radford was charged by police with 2 misdemeanors, leaving the scene of an accident and gross negligent operation of a motor vehicle. She was released on a citation and is scheduled to appear in Bennington County Court on April 27th. Turning to New Hampshire news now, a state business development group is encouraging businesses large and small to consider making the federal government a client. Now, it takes time and patience, but the payoff may be worth it. A regional matchmaking system, if you will, connects New Hampshire businesses to federal contract opportunities. This will come with help from New Hampshire's neighbor, Manchester, Vermont. Next month, on May 6th through 8th, a forum will be held to guide business owners through the process. Later this year, a matchmaking system for businesses will be held elsewhere in the Northeast, this time in Portland, Maine on August 7th. For more information on next month's matchmaker, the contact information can be seen on the screen. There's 41 people lining up to be Newport, New Hampshire's next town manager. Now, 1 out of that number will be chosen. Current town manager Paul Brown tells the Eagle Times that's a good thing. That amount of interest in leading the town. Brown will remain in town government, though. When he steps down from the town manager post on June 30th, he'll return to his former job as the town's finance director. Review of applicants will begin April 13th by a committee that includes several town employees, Selectman Bill Wilmot and Ton Fratzel, and Chamber of Commerce Director Ella Casey. Coming up on YCN News, Lucy McKenzie Humane Society is looking for residents who can adopt or foster a horse. And a beloved director returns to the Newport Opera House in New Hampshire to direct The Wizard of Oz. And Mike Pizzone will be by. He'll have a check of our spring-like forecast when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Laura James. If you live in Lebanon or will be driving through the area of Evans Drive in that city on Saturday, keep in mind there'll be a live burn training. The training will involve firefighters from 3 Upper Valley towns, Lebanon, Hanover, and Hartford, Vermont. This purposely set fire on a property acquired by the city was scheduled from an earlier date. The training gives valuable experience to firefighters. The training begins at 7 a.m. and is expected to continue to 3 p.m. Besides the house fire, other smaller fires will be set too to make the training as complete as possible so that when a real fire strikes, firefighters will be ready to respond. Access to local businesses will not be affected. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call the Lebanon Fire Chief, Chris Christopoulos, at 603-448-8810. Well, it's not uncommon in our rural areas, such as ours, to see horses and other barnyard and farm animals each day. And this next story goes out to viewers who may have room and time to care for rescued horses now available for adoption. The adoptions will be overseen by members of the Lucy McKenzie Humane Society, that according to the Eagle Times. If you're interested in adopting or fostering the horses, you can call Lucy McKenzie Humane Society at 802-484-5829. Now remember when you took your college entrance exams or heard other people talking about them? Well, if you're a Vermont high school junior or senior, if you know a student in these grades, there's a waiver of the Scholastic Aptitude Test fee if the student is applying to any of the Vermont state colleges. Governor Peter Shulman says the state workforce needs more Vermont high school graduates to continue their education beyond secondary school. Financial help is available to take the SAT, which costs $50. The deadline to register for the May 6th SAT testing date is Monday, April 6th, and the deadline to register for the June 6th testing date is May 8th. Now, the SAT is required for entrance into most higher education programs. Students can register online at sat.collegeboard.org. And students who qualified for a free SAT application can also qualify for a free application at any one of the Vermont state colleges. It's not too late to apply to a Vermont State College this fall, too. To learn more information about VSC's rolling admissions and free applications, just go to vsc.edu. Well, Charles Massey is back in town and at the Newport Opera House in Newport, New Hampshire. He's here to direct The Wizard of Oz. Lynn Solomon had the chance to get the details about this fun show. Your interview is coming up when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. It was a little chilly today with temperatures struggling to reach 40 degrees, but those sunny skies were a nice way to ring in the new month. Skies will become increasingly cloudy as we head into the evening, with temperatures bottoming out at 20 degrees, but skies will clear up in time for a beautiful day tomorrow with highs of 50 during the day and a low of 46 tomorrow evening. There's also a 60% chance we could see some showers late in the evening. Friday will be the warmest day of the week with a high of 58 degrees, but there's a 50% chance we could see more showers during the afternoon. Temperatures will fall to 36 Friday evening. Checking on the satellites, you can see those clear skies over our region now, but that system over the Dakotas is what's going to bring us those rain showers tomorrow night into Friday, and perhaps continuing into the weekend. Now let's take a look at the community calendar to see what's happening in the area. There will be a free community dinner tomorrow from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the North Springfield Baptist Church on 69 Main Street in North Springfield, Vermont. All are welcome to attend and takeout is available. Call 802-886-8107 for more information. The Mount Ascutney Hospital Auxiliary will hold its Easter bake sale on Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Windsor House on Main Street in Windsor, Vermont. Pies, rolls, cakes, cookies, and other baked goods will be available. The Claremont Parks and Recreation Department will hold its annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday beginning at 9:30 a.m. behind the Arrowhead Lodge. The Easter Bunny will be making an appearance, so be sure to bring your cameras. Visit ClaremontParks.com for more information. With a solid base of snow still on the ground in most places, high school teams have been forced to shift their preseason practices either indoors or to local parking lots. So with that in mind, I headed over to the Monadnock Park parking lot in Claremont, New Hampshire to see how the Stevens lacrosse team has been managing in its second week of preseason practices. Snow and mud has forced the team to stay on the hardtop so far, but fifth-year coach Jed Hart says his team has been making the most of its time together, which should pay dividends once the regular season rolls around. The team is coming off a winless season a year ago, but Hart said that an added year of experience, as well as a skilled core of newcomers, should help the team turn things around this year. The Cardinals have about 22 players on his roster as of now, including a handful of returning seniors. But what has Hart feeling most optimistic, he said, is the fact that unlike previous years, the majority of his team is heading into the season with at least some lacrosse experience. Hart has been a big advocate of bringing in a feeder program to Claremont, and with the addition of a middle school program, he said he's been able to spend less time teaching the basics and more time focusing on X's and O's.
Having the feeder program started at the middle school has made a huge difference as far as knowing how to pass and catch before they get here. When I first started, it was a lot of time spent just doing the kind of nuts and bolts pieces, whereas now we can move into more drills that are a moving drill and really focusing on game style situations instead of just that basic piece. I mean, we're still hitting those fundamentals every day, but at the same time we can move quicker into other things.
I also got the chance to speak with 4-year veteran Joseph Marcinelli on the camaraderie and work ethic he's seen in his teammates so far this preseason.
I remember my freshman year, I used to fall behind all the time. I wasn't the most fit kid. I was like, I'm just going to play lacrosse, see how that goes. And I ended up loving it. But most of all, I love my teammates because they always push me to do better. And now I'm here and I think about it. I see some freshmen slacking a little bit. It's like, all right, let's go, get going. And then they'll learn when they're seniors that, that kid pushed me, so I'm going to help push other people. And it really works out in the future.
The Cardinals will open up its regular season schedule April 14th when it hosts Monadnock at 4 p.m. And on an international note, Hanover, New Hampshire's Hillary Knight tallied 2 goals and an assist in the U.S. women's hockey team's 9-2 victory over Russia yesterday at the Women's World Hockey Championships in Sweden. The win gives the U.S. a bye into Friday's semifinal, where they'll take on either Russia or Sweden. I'm Mike Pizzone, and that does it for YCN Sports.
Thank you, Mike. Part 3 of a conversation with Joe Kenny, who is New Hampshire Executive Counselor from District 1, is coming up. YCN's Capital Connections' John O'Connor has that interview when YCN News continues.
The YCN News continues in a moment.